Fighting June 16th at Atlantic City at CFFC 120. I'm with Josh, the finance streaker. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
Can't complain. We're just under a week away from fight night. We were just talking about before we hit record. You're coming into the East Coast from Chicago. You did answer one of my questions I was going to ask you, but so this is not your first trip to the East Coast, but first fight trip to the East Coast. Am I right on that one?
Yeah, definitely first fight trip to the East Coast. It's kind of funny how you have to go through hoops in order to get to Atlantic City. But I'm excited to go out there, run the boardwalk, feel the energy of the people. Like you said, I'm from Chicago, so I love the energy of people, and I love kind of going to a city vibe. Right now, I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but I love it. So as soon as I step foot out there, I'll soak up the energy and use it in the fight.
Yeah, and down in Albuquerque, you are at Jackson Wink. Everyone knows Jackson Wink. It was one point John Jones's camp. It was Donald Cerrone's camp. It was Diego Sanchez's camp. For this camp, who have been your main training partners for this particular fight?
Yeah, mainly Steve Garcia, Isaiah Hokit, and then a bunch of young killers. So we got a Bellator fighter, we got a UFC fighter, but they both have their different like skill sets. So we got our striker out of Steve, and we got a wrestler out of Isaiah. As well as when you make it to that certain level, you're a tough round. But like I said, there's people that come in and out all the time, young, hungry. We got Norwegian people, we got Swedish people, we've got French people, like everywhere. Mongolians, I've been there a while now at this point, and it's been a privilege to learn from these different kind of cultures and learn from these different people. But man, it'll be a fun one because I'm training with some really good people, and like a lot of people say, like we've dropped off a little bit, but it can't be further from the truth. We got the head honcho, Greg Jackson, Mike Winklejohn, right? They're involved every single day. We've got this thing called pods, right? Where we're just honing our craft as pro fighters. And then we have Joy Villasenor, Andrew Tennyson. Like Joy Villasenor obviously has a billion fights, and then Andrew Tennyson is a jiu-jitsu wizard. So there's a bunch of coaches out there that are just ready to go and ready to help us, and as well as the training partners are excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great because a larger gym like that too, you have multiple people in camp as well, so that environment is always up and coming. I mean, right now, Holly Holm, for example, is at Jackson and has a fight with Silva coming up soon. But so with the large camp, who's making the trip with you at the Atlantic City for this one?
Yeah, I was trying to get Greg, but it's his birthday. I was like, no, coach, I'll handle it. Don't worry. It's your birthday. Like, have fun with your family, be with them. So I've got my coach from Chicago, Daniel Mulroney. He's been with me since amateur. And it's so funny because he's connected with the gyms out in Denver. He's connected with Coach Greg. He's connected with everybody. And he's part of the reason why I went out to Albuquerque in the end. So he's bringing kind of the same energy. Like we had a FaceTime with Coach Greg, and he's on the same page. But he's like the ride or die. Like when I got him behind me, I feel a little bit more gangster, and I feel like he knows what exactly to say to me at the right moment, at the right time. That's what you want in a corner. So I'll have him out there with me, and then my brother Ryan. He's an Army Ranger. He's incredible, but he lives in the East Coast, so he'll be able to come through with everything and help us out. And hopefully, he doesn't say too many words, but no, just kidding. But he'll be out there to support me, man. I'm excited.
Great. I mean, that's also great. Not only just having your coach backing there, but also like a family in the corner as well. You hear sometimes that's like an extra motivator because not only do you not want to disappoint your coach, especially that's your brother, like he's gonna get on you if you lose.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
But
As he
last time out you were at the LFA. You've faced Abdul Hassan Zadah, um, strong wrestler. He didn't get to show any of it. You kind of controlled that matchup from start to finish. How was it coming from out of that fight until now, about 4 months ago?
Yeah, I feel fantastic. I mean, that was kind of one of those fights. It meant so much to me. Actually, like 2 weeks prior to that, my dad had a stroke. He's still fighting through trying to get his speech back. That's been the biggest problem for him. So I kind of dedicated that fight to him, as well as I was coming off of a knee injury from I believe last May actually. And that was like depression, sadness. Is my career over? Will I ever get it back? Will it happen again? Um, so, as soon as I got through that, I felt so much better. I did a boxing fight in November, just for fun. And it's kind of crazy for me to even say that I did a boxing match for fun, but took it on like 3 weeks notice. Have fun with it, man. And I've got some confidence in my knee, and I knew everything was culminating to that fight in February. And just the like arrogance he showed to me in that fight was kind of funny because I knew I was there to fight, and he was overlooking me. Um, and I went out there and I did what I had to do. I'm a well-rounded fighter everywhere. He took my back in the third round. I knew how to get out of it. I knew how to hurt him. I hurt him frequently in the first round, and I didn't allow him to take me down and be on top of me. I was on top of him a majority of the fight. So I'm no easy fight for anybody, especially some dude that's 9-1. Don't keep your chin up. When I touch it, you're going out.
And that's a great segue into, your next opponent, Charlie Campbell, coming off of a Dana White Contender Series shot, was controlling the bout, and then left his chin up a little bit and got caught and took one punch. I personally saw my parlay burst into flames with the punch. But he comes from a strong camp as well. And on this card too, like you're not only coming into like enemy territory, you're coming into an enemy territory with a team. It's him, Dennis Bazooka or Bazooka, mess up his name all the time, and then Damian Nelson. How does it feel to come in? Does any of that change how you look at things that you're coming into? You're most likely going to be in like the blue corner. How does that feel coming into this environment?
So funny you say that. Like we go through, and I've had a long career. I've been doing this since like 2012, 2013, since college days. And when I started in the amateur world, it was fun. It was just a blast, and it was not like super nerve wracking. I knew that I was in my home when I was in there, and I was doing what I love. And what's crazy is I've been doing that ever since. So I don't overthink too many things. This is what I love to do. I do it every Thursday over here at Jackson Wink with some of the best fighters in the world. I just get to punch a lot harder in the cage. And so that's just exhilarating to think because I don't have to sit there and hold my punches, pull my punches, and then get taken down on some baloney, because I was nice to my partner. I can throw as hard as I want. And when I touch people, people go to sleep. So I'm excited, man. It doesn't faze me. Actually, going back to my amateur career, I went to the Sears Center in Chicago, and I fought this guy. His name blanks me for whatever reason, but pretty sure he brought like 400 people to the arena, like all for him, wearing his shirts like crazy. I walk out, they start booing me as I'm walking down the stairway and the catwalk all the way to the cage. As I'm doing this, the boos just energized me. I went out there, I kicked his ass, and I handled business. So, boo me, cheer for me. When we go in the cage, there's two people in there. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter. But I know like what I have to offer. I know when I touch people, they go to sleep. And I know my skills all over the place have gotten way better. So he's in for it come next week.
And then bouncing back to kind of in Chicago. There's 2 times that Bellator came to Chicago or in the Chicago area and you were on the card. They're there next Friday as well. Was there any talks prior to this fight coming to play, or was this like the fight that was offered and you took it?
Yeah, there was talks, but when you have talks, like nothing's set in stone. So you try to get something in concrete, I have a lot of people that kind of want me on their card in essence, because I'm a fun fighter. Like I just go out there, I throw down, I smile, I have fun with it. You can feel my energy through the TV. You can feel my energy if you go there, So, but I concrete, set in stone. We have a fight. Okay, cool. Let's take it. I'm not one of those people that says, oh no, I don't want this fight. Oh no, I don't want this fight. Like some people may have said, and like my opponent almost said. So I'm here to fight, and that's what I do, and that's what I love to do. And I'm gonna have a blast out there next week.
Thanks. And then just a typical question I usually throw around with some of the ones that are either making their promotion debut at CFFC or around it more. Is this a one fight deal or is this a multi?
Yeah, one fight deal. I have a lot of opportunity, like a lot of opportunity. So we're gonna handle business out there, but it'll be a blast. And like I said, I'm excited to go to the East Coast. I'm excited to get booed. I'm excited to be the underdog. Like I've been the underdog. I think what 3 times so far. People cash money on me. All right, so bet on me.
And speaking of betting, you're just helping us out perfectly. At the Hard Rock Casino, for those in attendance, you can bet on this legally. And as you just mentioned, you've been the underdog. Against Abdul, you were plus 550. And then you closed about plus 250. Against Miguel Jacob, you were plus 250 and closed at 260. So, I mean, you can pay for your ticket on one fight if it goes your way. You can't, but anyone in attendance can. They do ask you when you go to bed if you're a fighter, promoter, manager, and
No, absolutely not.
the James Krause effect is in effect in New Jersey. But that's always a fun part with these cards. They kind of rolled it out last December with their event out there, and I tried paying for my room, and I did not pay it off with my bets. But I know people who did. And you look at your past two. This might be the way to go. Charlie is coming off a bad knockout. And it's, even though he's with a strong camp, how do you react that first punch that comes in? You rocked Abdul with like the first or second punch in that fight. So when you say you put people to sleep, you pull up UFC Fight Pass, you can see if they don't go out right away, you get near almost instantly. So
I even Miguel Jacob, I punched him, and then of course dumb Josh points to him, and look back at that fight. I point to him, and then he recovers and he gets up, and I lose my opportunity. So I've got fireworks in my hands. I've got bombs in my hands. So I'm excited. I'm excited to throw out all my moves, and this will be a fun one.
all right, so no Nate Diaz strategy next week. Go for the win.
I'm just gonna get the job.
Outside of that, I think that's enough for this fight for next week. I don't want to hold you up too long. You have probably another practice today. You have a week to kind of prepare, and then the dreadful cut week coming into play as well. Any sponsors or shout outs you want to say? The mic's all yours.
Yeah, I love number one, first and foremost, my dad. Like he had a stroke, he's still fighting through it, he's still hustling. And obviously when you have a stroke and none of us are out there actually, he has to have a caretaker that takes care of him for a lot of the stuff. He can't legally drive. And so if you guys want to follow me at Josh Streacker, the GoFundMe is on the page. And that means the world to me because everybody has a dad. Everybody has a mother, or had a dad or had a mother. So you know how much it means and you know how much they mean to you. So he means the world to me and I want him to get better. And it does take money, unfortunately. So, but that's the first and foremost. And then obviously a lot of people are just helping me out. Healing Flower, Cannabis, they're fantastic. Budget Climate Control, they're fantastic. I may have a new sponsor pretty soon here. We're in negotiations right now, but yeah, there's tons of people that help me up. Dr. Derek Ashley over at Ashley Chiropractic. But yeah, I'm probably missing some people, but obviously Jackson Wink, they're the best. And so thank you guys so much. But seriously, once again, the biggest thing that's on my heart and on my mind is my dad. So if you guys can, please help.
Definitely. You only get one. And, I kind of saw that leading into the interview. I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't know where the status was. And I didn't want to go into an area that may not be well at this point. But yeah, I'll link the GoFundMe below as well. That way, on top of just your Instagram and all that, they can get it right below as well. And at least as time of recording too, tickets are still on sale for next Friday. That is rare. That tends to be sold out by now. So I would expect this to sell out by midweek of next week. So I'm going to put, if you go to CFFC.tv and you buy a ticket, you put in Josh's name, he gets a little kickback on the side. It's rare to say that when it's this close to the fight week. So coming in from Chicago, you don't usually get the highest ticket sales being from out of town. So, always great to help a fighter. You guys don't get paid enough anyway, so. But yeah, I'll get this posted, and best of luck next Friday.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.